Welcome to the Canby Urban Renewal Agency special meeting of July 9th, 2014. Please stand with me for the flag salute. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now a moment of silence for all of those who protect us, both at home and abroad in harm's way. Thank you. Please be seated. First on our agenda is the consent agenda, and we need a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda, which includes the minutes of the June 18, 2014 URA special meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Vice Chair Hodson, seconded by Commissioner Hensley, to approve the consent agenda, which includes the approval of the minutes of the June 18th, 2014 URA special meeting. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries 7-0. Next, we have citizen input and community announcements. Kim, do we have any announcements?
I do. I have one. Sewer and street maintenance fee payments and questions are now being taken at City Hall instead of the Development Services Office. The customer service phone number is still 503-266-0640. If a customer wishes to just drop off a payment and does not need a receipt, they can still do that in the payment drop box at Development Services.
Very good. Thank you. Anything, Amanda?
Nope.
All righty. Any citizen input? No citizen input. Moving on to new business. First up, we have an update on the Civic Center project. Did you have anything except for executive session material?
Nope.
None at all there?
Not right now.
One thing I wanted to bring up for the agency to think about is the selection of the construction manager process. Amanda would like some guidance as to whether we would like to start prepping the RFP. It's an RFP in this case, isn't it? And to be ready for that when we have a land agreement sooner than later. Yep. And I confess I'm a little concerned about the clock ticking for a spring groundbreaking. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's reasonable. Any discussion?
Spring should not be a problem.
Pardon?
Spring should not be a problem.
Okay, good.
Do we need any more specific than that, or is that?
No, I think so. I don't think so. We have formats that we've used in the past, and we can take those formats and update them to this project, and then the attorneys review those before we send them out, so we can get going on that process.
Yeah, we've ridden this pony before, so we know our way around the corral, and also we've got a counselor that can give us a little bit of advice when we need some adult supervision on this.
With everybody in
That should be
shape.
fun.
Perfect. Yeah, that can be done. All righty. Sounds like you have consensus there, Amanda. Thank you. Next up, we have Economic Development Update with Renata. And she has a great presentation this week for us in your packets.
Thank you.
So, on the business recruitment side, we've had 3 leads that have been a fit with our community that I've prepared proposals for. They range in size from 10,000 to 150,000 square feet. They're all advanced manufacturing type businesses coming from various parts of the country, so we'll see how we fare in the selection process on that. I do have an update on Project Sparkle. That was a beverage manufacturer that was looking for 200 to 300,000 square feet. I talked with the president of the company today. He says that Canby is very much in the running. Their process has been a little slower than they had originally anticipated. I first began chatting with him in November, but they're actively working with local realtors now, so that's very encouraging news. On another note, I have also been working with a developer that's representing a precision metals company from Portland. They've been interested in our property, the urban renewal property, and he has presented the company with the cost of doing a build-to-suit building. Unfortunately, the cost of this build-to-suit building and the price that the owner had in mind was about $2 million apart. So they are now looking at several buildings in the Clackamas County area, 2 buildings that are existing that might need to be retrofitted. If that cannot be made to work, Canby is still a very good option for them. The developer did an in-depth analysis on the cost of construction and permitting and operations for Clackamas County, Washington County, and Canby is by far the best choice for them. So should they decide to go with the build-to-suit option, we are a strong contender, and he did ask me to check back with him in a month to see where they are on that. So I thought you'd be interested in knowing that. In terms of business retention, we've been doing a series of outreach visits. We visited with 7 companies so far. The mayor has been gracious enough to join us with several of those. Business Oregon, Clackamas County, and our new Chamber of Commerce CEO have been sitting in on those meetings. They've been going very well. Many of our companies are expanding, are looking to add on to their buildings. They're adding employees. There's a common theme about having some vacancies that are just a little bit hard to fill. They need a specialized skill set, they need a skilled person, and that's been a challenge sometimes. And they're focused on increasing their sales, and perhaps the mayor might have additional comments to add to that.
The only additional piece that I would have was everybody that we talked with, huge push on within the companies to want to be engaged more in the communities, whether that be the chamber or the schools or whatever those may be, cleanups, et cetera, trying to do, show that they may not be able to necessarily sell here locally, but they are a local employer and they want to be able to be involved and give back. And as we talked about at one of the other city council meetings, the conversation around lodging for many of these that are on that list, that's something that they're very interested in doing, and I know that that's conversation that we've had and will have, and I know that we're interested in that up here as well. So I think those are some big pieces. And then the employment piece, we're hearing that across all the sectors of the Canby businesses that they're hiring. They have positions, they want to fill them, and it's finding 1, skilled people, and 2, people that want to do the work. So they've been very good visits.
And a number of the businesses have been engaged in Manufacturing Day and the tours, and several of the businesses that we met with are new to the program and want to be part of it in October. So we're going to be meeting with the Chamber of Commerce CEO and the high school coordinator to get that started in the planning works in mid-August. So, in terms of the team track findings, you have in your packet the final pieces of the report. It provides some cost estimates for the various components and several concept plans ranging in the cost of $1.72 to $3 million to construct. So that research component of the project is finished. We're now going to be presenting that to the property owner and the railroad provider to see where they might like to go with that, because anything that happens around Team Track would be led by the private sector. We would be serving as a coordination facilitation role. So we'll see what they have to say about that. In terms of Open Counter, we had a successful launch on June 10th. We're now on to the next phase of the project, which is to develop a component for new construction, new commercial and industrial building construction, which is a much more in-depth process. We're well on the way on that, and we hope to be completed by the end of July on that component. And then we'll turn our attention to residential development. So we'll have the whole spectrum of types of development in Canby that are a part of the Open Counter program. We hope to have all of that complete by the end of August.
Great.
So, the handout that I gave you today was for the Professional Business Services Summit. This would be our fourth industry cluster meeting that we've held. Mayor Hudson and our planning chair will be our host for the meeting. It'll be July 31st, 8 to 9:30 at the police facility, and it'll focus on all of our various professional services in many of them in downtown, lawyers, accountants, bookkeepers, et cetera, et cetera. We have quite a variety of them. So it'll be very interesting to hear what they have to say. Now I'll pretend to be Jamie for a minute. She can't be here today. and give the Main Street update. On June 6th, we had our First Friday program. 10 businesses participated. Several of them were new businesses to town. And since then, several other new businesses have opened their doors and are also interested in talking about participating in First Friday, so that's exciting. She also did a downtown draw with several businesses that are featured in the Facebook page and in her newsletter. That includes the fitness studio as well as Canby Rental and Equipment. On the Historic Review Board front, they've been very active. We have several contractors busy implementing the grant that we received from the state. One is doing intensive level historic review on 5 of our downtown buildings, and some of that information will be turned into the body of a plaque program that will be for downtown. The second piece is to do renderings on existing buildings to inspire the business owner and the property owner on what could be possible about preserving and reintroducing some historic elements to our buildings. So we've chosen a variety of building styles and throughout the downtown area, and we're very interested to see what the creative minds come up with. Both of those projects will be done at the end of September. And the Arts and Culture Advisory Committee has also been busy. They had a call to artists for sculptures to be installed on First Avenue. There were 5 respondents and 2 of the artists were chosen. They're busy doing the work now. They're under contract, and we hope to have those sculptures installed in the end of September. So that concludes my report. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
Bernard, on the First Friday piece, one of the comments I've been getting from some of the downtown businesses was possibly getting maybe posters out sooner and flyers up regarding First Friday. Even like they seem to be getting up maybe the week of, or so if there's a way we can up that ante a little bit and maybe get them out, maybe a week and a half sooner or so, just a week. I think that might help with some of the draw pieces. I think the June 6th one was great in terms of what we had going. There was music and the classic cars that Pappy's put out there. So I know with not having one here in July, I think getting us squared away for August might be a good piece to get some more attention on that. If we could do that.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks.
Bet.
That's my answer.
Mr. Chair, to that point, that Janie had a First Friday poster that we saw at the design, or the promotions committee, that had all the dates for the year. Do you know if that is moving forward as a piece that she's using, or was that just an idea that we're still working on?
I will check with her on that. She'll be back on Monday.
Okay, yeah, because they had each First Friday for the rest of the year advertised on, which would have been a good piece to use too.
It would, yes. Great.
Yeah, I had something I wanted to add, but the mayor gave me a shiny penny, so I needed to follow that one. About a banner across 99, that would be an excellent way to promote First Friday, so I'll look for an update on where we are on that. Also, Renata, on the downtown business and recruitment, I wanted to talk about Gabe opening up his computer office behind Place to Be. That's significant from a Main Street philosophy standpoint, because across this country, the problem in having more businesses downtown is that in the historic buildings that we have, they were built before real-time inventory, that you had to keep all of your materials on site. You couldn't have overnight delivery from UPS. And so all of the footprints of buildings are too big. They have too many square feet. And what we're seeing here with the Place to Be and Gabe opening up a shop behind it is an example of Main Street philosophy of taking these buildings and repurposing them into smaller, more economically viable units. So I didn't want this moment to pass without saying, this is something that we need to keep pushing through the downtown, is that in our larger buildings, being able to find ways to have more businesses in the same amount of space, that is incredibly significant. The second thing, in terms of downtown businesses and development, had a discussion today with Joan Monin of the Wild Hare, and she now has locked in dates for Hairfest for 2015, which will be at the county fairgrounds. And so I do not want to have any excuse from us, from staff, economic development, even our attorney, on good ideas to be able to get those thousands of people downtown, seeing downtown, spending money downtown. We've got a year, I believe it's July 24th, and I'd like to encourage the mayor and the chair here to think about even getting an ad hoc committee together with staff. But this is going to be our best opportunity yet. We have a promoter who is willing to work with the city, shuttle buses, whatever. Some of us are going to go to a Westland Street Fair to observe that. Discussion on whether we will not want to have that concurrent, to have a reason to pull people down, or whether it be competitive, I don't know. But this is going to be our next greatest chance to try and really do what I've heard since I've moved to this town, talking about the county fairgrounds, is that people say, we never get any business downtown from it. And I think here we're in a situation where we don't have to bother the fair board, which is busy doing its own thing, and saying, hey, we want to come up with something new. Here we have a promoter that's saying, how can we work with the city? So that's just a bug that I wanted to put in the ear and mention that it's a terrific opportunity.
Great.
Very good.
That's huge.
Okay.
Thank you, Renata.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nana.
Thank you.
Thank you for the great summary on Team Track as well in the packet. That's great. All righty, that concludes the new business on the agenda. The agency have anything further that they want to bring up this time? All righty, we do have an executive session scheduled. I need a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we move into executive session under ORS 192.660, parent 2, parent E, real property.
All right.
Second.
For a second. It's been moved by Vice Chairman Hodson, seconded by Commissioner Hensley to go into executive session pursuant to ORS 192.660, parent 2, parent E, real property. The agency will now recess this meeting to meet in executive session for the purpose of discussing real property. The executive session is held pursuant to ORS 192.660, parent 2, parent E, which allows the agency to meet in executive session to discuss those topics. Only representatives of the news media and designated staff shall be allowed to attend the executive session. The council will adjourn to the City Hall conference room to hold its executive session. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed not to report on any of the deliberations during the executive session, except to state the general subject of the session as previously announced. No decision will be made in executive session. At the end of the session, we may reconvene the meeting in the City Hall conference room and conduct any further business that needs to be taken care of. So we are in recess to executive session. Please hang around, Canby. City Council will commence right back here in 11 minutes at 6:30. Thank you and good night.